Trafalgar?
Yeah, I'm getting there.
We're going to have to bleep some of this.
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Oh, who cares? G'day all and welcome back to Nothing But Footy. Lads, how is it to be back in the studio?
Good. We had a week off. We had our mid-season break, our bye.
Yeah, we had our bye.
Yep.
Yeah. Bye week.
Mm-hmm.
We probably could have let people know.
We probably could, yeah.
But, we're learning.
Surprise. We're full of
Yeah,
surprises.
yeah. You were
Yeah,
Got to
expecting
keep,
us
got to
and
keep
we
the
weren't
listeners
there.
on their toes.
And
Hey, and there was a big drop
there
while we were gone.
was. So we didn't just leave it empty-handed, nothing.
Nah. Still gave you guys
Mhm.
some content, and I was completely unaware of this.
Mm.
Sharky and Count had been brewing something up, and I was unaware.
But yeah, how good does it look?
What
No, I
was
was gonna go grab something. But no, how good does it look? And it's such a nice quality.
What is it, Sharky?
It's a new Nothing But Footy hoodie.
Nothing but footy hoodie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it rolls off the tongue well.
Does,
But no,
doesn't it?
how good is it? Keon's repping the green. I'm
Yep.
repping the blue.
The navy blue.
It's good. New colours coming.
And it's genuine good quality.
it is
I was
very good quality.
surprised.
I was
You're not going to
apprehensive.
hear us say it's bad
No.
quality, to be fair.
I was apprehensive, but then I saw it. I was like, wow, how good is it?
Mhm.
It's comfy.
Yeah.
But on the topic of the hoodie, there was some stuff put up on the socials saying that this Calling Kids had a bit of stakes to it. You know, whoever sent through the best one would go ahead and get a free hoodie. So we'll go ahead and move on into that one.
You've called Kiz. Who is it?
Fucking get him off.
Yeah,
Get Minson off.
he's coming off. Man, get him back off. Get him off. Get him off. Get him
Minson
off.
off.
Rocket.
Hey, Kayon, just got a quick question. Do you think Brad Scott is the right man for Essendon's future? Do you see him getting a flag for us in the near future, in the next 5 years or something? Or who do you think would be a better fit? There's been some rumours about like James Hird, things like that. Look, personally, I don't think he's the right man for us. I think his ideas of playing young people this year have been good, but like at the same time, Elijah Sardis, like that is just it's fucking ridiculous. And I'm tired of fucking seeing us lose every fucking week because we're the worst first quarter team in the league. What something has to change. Fuck Sharky.
Who was that sent that through? Do we know names or?
Yeah, it was
I
Pat.
didn't leave a
Pat.
name. Oh.
Pat. Yeah, no, that's a great question. Actually, he's stolen something else that we're going to speak about later on about the coaching, but I was
Apparently, I'm not a part of this podcast as well. So
just
that's
address
awesome.
you, Keon.
I'm not allowed to give my opinion on this one.
But it is called Calling Kids.
Well, true. That is true, but I want to speak as well.
Good question from Pat there. I agree with him. Is he there for the job? Probably not. I don't think so. He's made some interesting calls, but he hasn't been dealt a very good hand with injuries this year. Someone you look at, maybe Ken Hinkley, someone like that. But then at the same time, you could say the same. It is just Essendon, so nothing ever works for him like it does for St Kilda.
Definitely don't want Hurd again.
I don't think Hurd will go
That's
there.
PTSD.
There could be problems there with their wonder child. But good question. I think it's time to move him on, I reckon. He hasn't done too much for him. They haven't, I don't think, grown from when he's come to the club on playing the younger players. Yeah, they've had a few injuries that they've had to, but some numbers. Elijah Sardis had 30 on the weekend. Dylan Shield had 2 goals, 29 touches, 8 clearances. So he's maybe someone you look to bring back in the team. He was playing good football and then he got dropped for some reason. I know I was critical of him, but he proved me wrong. Will?
I actually disagree. I think the general football consensus will say that Brad Scott is probably not the right man for the job. And I guess like it's fair enough to say that, he hasn't shown any promise at all. But like you said, the hand he's been dealt is fucking terrible. And I actually really like what he's doing at the moment with playing the kids. And, you know, the game on the weekend is two teams at a completely opposite end of their club, you know. Geelong is pushing for grand finals. Their average age would be probably double what Essendon's is. And Essendon is a younger side than Richmond. So, you know, a lot of people speak about, you know, how Richmond's such a young side and they were able to win 3 games, you know, like Essendon's done it with a younger side. And that was when that was back in round, you know, 3 and 4. They still had a younger side. Could you imagine now, you know, considering all the young players they're playing at the moment? I like what he's doing here because for so long it's just been Essendon have just been such a mid-table team, such an average team. But I think the approach that Brad Scott's kind of taken here is, all right, well, if we're going to be shit and if I'm going to be dealt this shit hand, I'm going to see what I can get. I can see if I can get the best out of these young guys. Zach Johnson on the weekend had 30 touches in his second game, picked 70 in the AFL draft. So I like it. I do think that he makes a lot of poor decisions, but I also think no matter who you bring in, I don't think that solves any of the issues they have, to be honest. Like, apart from maybe game style and, like, I guess playing a little bit more experienced players, but, you know, when's the last time we saw Zach Merritt play a good game? At the start of the year, it was if Zach Merritt doesn't play a good game, this team was terrible. And now that he's not playing good games, obviously the injuries don't help, but we haven't seen him play a good game in a while. A lot of reliance on Jai Caldwell and Will Setterfield, and Will Setterfield wasn't even an option last year. But I don't know. You could say Brad Scott's not the guy, but then for me, it doesn't matter who you bring in. Like, you had, was it Ben Ratton?
No,
Brent Rutten?
Yeah.
Fucking
yeah.
those two guys, I always get confused with. You brought him in, he didn't do anything. Who did they have before him?
Worsfold.
Yeah. Didn't do anything. You know what I mean? Like, it's... Now you got Brad Scott, who's probably most experienced out of them. You bring someone else in, who are you going to bring in? Realistically, you know, like apart from a assistant coach or something like that. So, I don't know.
I question this too. Do you think what I'm about to say is a coaching thing or a player thing? There was multiple occasions they lost by 95 points on the weekend, and I'd say there's a fair few moments in the game where you can't even blame the younger player. I mean, McGrath dropped a crucial mark that turned into a Sean Manor goal. Nick Martin trying to bite too much off with shoot into a 1v4 option, didn't hit the kick, bang, that was a goal. Who else was it? Laverde made a couple crucial mistakes. Key players, Darcy Parish, I know he's only played the 2 games. I think he's had 30 plus in both games. However, he has had the most, he's averaging currently the most turnovers by anyone in the AFL at the moment. Is that a downfall into because they're not playing good football and you're relying more on, let's say, Darcy Parish to do the things so he's getting them more turnovers, or is that a game plan problem because Darcy Parish can't do it because the coach is trying to make him do it, but he physically doesn't have the skill to do it?
To me, it was... I watched this game and it was... This Geelong team is so much more experienced and skilled than this Essendon side. Like, seeing... who was it? Lockie Blackiston on Shannon Neal and Jeremy Cameron. It just hurt to see, you know? Like, he was obviously never going to stand a chance there. You look at their back line. Andrew McGrath, Jayden Laverde, Archie Roberts, Jackson Pryor, Angus Clark, and Blackiston. Angus Clark debuted 3 games ago. Blackiston, I'm pretty sure that was his debut, was it not?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Blackiston's debut. Andrew McGrath's not a big. He can't play on a big. Jayden Laverde is literally their entire back line at that point. Archie Roberts shows good promise, but again, he's still young. He would fit perfectly in a team where he can just kind of go. He doesn't have to be too responsible. And you look at Geelong's forward line, you know, Brad Close, Tyson Stengel, Shannon Neal, Jeremy Cameron, Paddy Dangerfield. We saw Shannon Neal play his best game ever this year, and it happens to be against Essendon. I don't think that's a coincidence.
To the next calling kids.
What a weekend. Sunday, not so much. Colin got the job done. But Saturday, oh boy, did this not disappoint. The young stars of the competition, the future of the competition really showed out today. You could see, starting off on Saturday, the Brisbane GWS game. Oh, what a game. Game of the round. Logan Morris, 5 goals. Cadman, 5 goals. They are up and coming. Hogan did what he did. But that was a great game. But then you come on to Geelong, just demolish, and I'll get back to them. But Freo versus North, another great game. North showed signs of come back. Freo just put the job away. Vossi, young forward. How good. Now back to the Geelong game. Bailey Smith and Max Holmes. How good is that? Dynamic duo. I must say it's a dynamic duo. I've got a question for you. What is a better duo than Max Holmes and Bailey Smith? Is there a better dynamic duo? Is there a better one out there at the moment? And also, I must add, the jumpers look sensational. If there's a black one, I will have to cop it straight away if I don't win this competition. So, good luck to the rest of the people entering the competition. And, as always, enjoy Nothing But Footy podcast.
Good way to end it.
Nice. He does better on the outros than Sharky.
Yeah. I don't think started getting him to do
Might
the
make that
outros.
the outro.
A few things to delve into there. Yeah, it was a great weekend of footy, especially from a lot of key forwards. Kicked a few bags, like he said. In that GWS Brisbane game, young boys Morris, Cadman kicked 5 each. Hogan kicked 6. Brown kicked 3 in that one as well. Georgiades kicked 7. Shannon Neal, like Will said before, had one of his career best games. And then, is there a black hoodie? Yes, there is a black hoodie now.
Looks good.
I do wonder. This person, we've had him a few times. Mitchell, I believe his name is, whispering as well in the background a little bit.
Yeah, he was like he was in the bathroom.
It sounded like
He
he
does-
does be quiet.
We do get it in the bathroom a bit.
I don't think that was in the bathroom.
I don't think it was in the
There was
bathroom.
echoes.
It just sounded like
I
you had to
reckon
be
that might
very
have been
quiet.
at work.
Oh,
Yeah,
commitment.
I reckon that
yeah.
could have been a cheeky one at work. You know, I
Yeah.
don't want the boss to hear me.
Yeah, I guess. To the next one.
Wait,
Oh, you go, Will.
no, go on.
No, he had a question.
Yeah.
Who's the best? Is there a better duo than Holmes and Bailey Smith? At the moment,
No for me.
if this is an if, so at the moment, no. However, 2 names he did raise while he was talking about it. If Cadman and Hogan can continue to do what they did on the weekend, they would put themselves up there.
You know who-
Currently, no.
You know who I was going to say?
Who?
Scott Pendlebury and Steel Side.
Yeah, no, that's not a bad one.
Like, just the fact that these guys are just the unks and they're giving it to the young
Mhm.
fellas is just so cool.
Now,
Just to the Smith and Holmes one, is who's the Batman, who's the Robin?
See, it's tough.
Okay, who do you think is the better player? I think that's more the question.
Again, it's tough. Like, consistency wise, I'd probably have to say it's Bailey Smith. You know, a lot of the time we can see Max Holmes not play as good as, but the last 2 weeks we've seen from Holmes, he's obviously Bailey Smith didn't play last week. I think they're both kind of Batman, if I'm honest. Like, if you can play in a team where you pick up 41 touches and then your best mate picks up 36 touches and a goal, you know, you combine for over, what is it, 1,500 meters gained.
Yeah.
Like, those are two Batmans running around the field. There ain't no Robin in there. Yeah. That is tough. That's probably the hardest one. Because, like, you think of the big duos. Butters is the Batman over Rosie. Sarong is the Batman over Brayshaw. Anderson's the Batman over Rao.
Sinclair, Wanganeen Miller.
Yeah.
That one's another one.
I give that to Wanganeen Malera because he's younger. Whereas these blokes are like,
Same.
they're young, they're playing similar football, they're winning games. There's like, you can't really tell a big difference. Their disposal efficiency both kind of sucks.
Mm.
And they both hit the scoreboard.
Yeah. I think my main one is I think Holmes is probably better because of his defensive ability.
Yeah.
He's a lot more of a two-way runner than what Bailey Smith. You see Bailey Smith a lot on the attack, whereas you see Holmes, he'll get a couple intercept possessions a game. So I think that's probably what makes him, as an overall player, a touch better, but then also he can't be, yes, he attacks and he gets the run. He's probably not as consistently as much of an attacker as Bailey Smith, but I think that's what makes them both work so well because
that's what I mean.
One's a little bit better at offense and the other one's a bit better at defense.
Yeah, for sure.
Next calling Kiz.
Hey fellas, first time, long time. Just thought I'd come on here and I thought I may as well enter this this jumper giveaway, for the hoodie. Yeah, I'm a big fan. Been listening since day one. Number one fan. Gonna keep listening. I love listening. I hope this doesn't get played out. I don't know. Oh. I don't know what to say anymore. What am I supposed to say?
Yeah, interesting way. Had nothing to say there. Had nothing to say about football there. Just basically pleaded for a jumper, pretty much.
Favorite moment of the weekend.
Well, first of all, he said first time, long time, but he's spoken before, so I don't think it wasn't his first time.
But then he said long time, so maybe
like
he's saying it's the first time in a long time.
No, I think he meant first time speaking, but long time listener. Which is what people normally say on the radio, but he's spoken before, so I don't know what he meant by that.
Glad to hear that you're, been a day one.
But also have spoken to this person. He hasn't been listening as of recent though.
He has not.
So,
but
day one though,
not his fault. I will give him that.
Yeah.
Change in AirPod ability.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll give him a free pass. Doesn't stop him from being able to listen to it in the car. Long drives in the car. But,
I reckon we move on to the last one. And this will determine where we go.
Well, at the moment, where is I think that Patrick one was probably at the top right now.
Let's listen to all of them first.
Oh, okay, I thought we'll just.
Hey lads, just want to know your thoughts on how the fuck Richmond can do a 1-year rebuild. How the fuck Geelong are never in a rebuild. However, my fucking Essendon can't get a constantly shit. How do you let a team kick 151 points on the board against you? I feel like I've played AFL Evolution against rookie mode and not even got to 151. If you do like 4-minute quarters. That is fucked. I'm pissed. I'd love to know your thoughts.
Yeah, no, he's not wrong. Another angry Essendon fan.
It's great that he had to put in the 4-minute quarters to make sure that he's known that he's not shit. At AFL Evo. That was great.
It was only 2 weeks ago where they lost to Bulldogs as well by 90 points, who scored 130.
Was that 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I think two games in between.
To who?
The Bulldogs. So they've got some big losses under their belt, but can't speak too much because I was just saying Kilda. But yeah, it's an unhappy Essendon fans at the moment.
And you ask me how Richmond can do a 1-year rebuild. It's because we literally handballed every one of our players off. Whereas you guys have kind of hung on to Darcy Parish, hung on to Peter Wright. Who else did they hang on to? They never had any stars, really.
No, not really.
But, we just got rid of everybody.
They let Dyson Heppel stay when he could have gone to Gold Coast.
Yeah. 7 first-round draft picks probably helps with that, even though like 3 of them have played. Anyways, Essendon, look, I feel like it's not complete panic stations, if I'm honest. With Essendon, it feels like they lose very big.
Yeah, they don't. They can't hold on.
Yeah, if they lose massive. But then we're forgetting that, what was it, 2 weeks? Yeah, 3 weeks ago, they only lost to Brisbane at the G by 18 points. The Gabba, sorry, by 18 points. They beat Richmond, Dreamtime, and...
However, we're down to Brisbane by 40 points at one stage.
Well, they only lost to Carlton by 8 points last week. So, they've got 6 wins. They're basically 6 and 7. They're sitting 12th. They're sitting better than Sydney. They're sitting better than St Kilda. They're sitting better than Melbourne. They're sitting better than North, and North is supposed to be on the rise of their rebuild. So, we could see a big downpour, but I wouldn't call it off too far yet.
We got to rank them. We got to give someone the hoodie.
That one was good.
That one was up there.
I would say
I feel like I just want to put one out of the race.
Lockie's is 4th.
Yeah, Lockie's
that's
4th.
4th, yeah.
Pigs is 3rd.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That brings us down to 2 Essendon.
I think if Pig was in Mitchell, if Mitchell was in an area where he could raise his tone,
Yeah,
I think he
Bit of expression.
might have been in front of the desktop there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
For me, I've got Paddy at the 1.
Sharky.
I would probably say it's a bit of Chrissy for me.
So I've got the...
You've
Yeah,
got
well,
the
he-
determining vote.
Well, Pat was a bit mean to me at the end.
that is
So he
true.
has
Forgot
put me
about
off.
that. You know what? Because he was mean to you, I'll give him the win.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah, he
no.
put the fuck Sharky
you got to
there.
think about the laughs. Like, he
Yeah.
got us going there.
It caught
Chrissy's
you off
was good
guard.
though.
Chris got the AFL. That's an honourable loss from Chris. Very
Yeah,
honourable.
very, very, very much so. I reckon
but,
you
you
give
know-
him another week, he'd win that.
Pat, yeah, no, the fuck Sharky almost basically got over the line. I will say, you know the thing where they got us in the first half type of thing. That was Pat.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be slow, and then all of a sudden his rage just sort of came out.
Yeah, it was
About
great.
Essendon, that yeah, I think that
Well,
was good.
Congratulations, Paddy.
Yeah, you got a jumper coming your way.
Jumper coming your
Get in
way.
contact with you.
Get in contact, pick your colour, and it's on the way.
Mm-hmm.
To the round. We had the Bulldogs dominate at Marvel Stadium, handling the Saints with a 72-point defeat. Now, the entertaining part of the game was a hamstring injury during the pre-game coin toss, which quickly went viral online. Keon, what did you think of that game?
Yeah.
Can we talk about the hammy?
Yeah, we'll talk about the hammy first.
Was it actually... Okay.
Yeah, full.
He actually
Yeah,
did it.
they're like
did you see the photo?
Massive
Yeah,
bruise on
right,
the back
it
of the
was
leg.
gone.
Like, full went to the doctors.
I thought he was taking...
No,
he
full
was-
hammy.
Yeah.
Would have been a great bit though if he was taking the piss.
Oh yeah,
Because we've seen the head
marmalade.
up
Yeah,
waiting for the coin to come down. A fake hammy would have been perfect, but that was a real one. It was fucking sick.
God.
oh,
How do you even
that's
do that?
crazy.
Like, it's huge.
Oh.
Like they got a photo of his hammy like at the doctor, and it's like yellow and purple. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't know how you could do that. Oh my.
Yeah,
Jeez.
It's not even that.
he
Clear
doesn't
either.
even move.
He just like sort of lunges
He-
forward.
like not even like he took a step forward and then
Yeah.
looked at the coin.
God.
Did you see his interview as well? He said he might have to miss 6 or 7
Yeah,
coin tosses. Yeah, you can get into the game now.
Yeah, I was very disappointed. It came down to it was poorly done come, what would it be, Wednesday, their Wednesday coaches meeting, I think is where the game was lost. Because how you can be beat the same way twice in, well, we probably played him only, wouldn't Sam Darcy go? 8 weeks ago. And we literally got beat in the same way by basically the same score. Like, this time we decided to tag Bont. Now we stopped Bont. Winhager did all right himself. But what it did was
Cop
Bont...
the coaches vote.
Did Winhager?
Yeah.
Oh, he did? Oh, good on him. Assuming he would have been the only Saints player to cop a vote? Yeah.
I think so.
We tagged Bont, but Bont was smart about it and he would draw space out, which allows someone like Richards or Libba to get more of the ball. So did it work? Yes. In terms of literally stopping Bont. Did it actually work? No, because it allowed that space to be created because Bont knew that he wasn't going to get the ball. Most of his touches came off a handball receive because his players were trying to get him involved. So yeah, I think the game was mainly lost Wednesday night whenever they do their coaches meeting to discuss the game. Darcy just showed how unstoppable he is. Like, he had Caminiti on him and Caminiti was struggling to even get near the ball when they were both at full stretch. I think that's on 310 centimeters at full stretch Darcy is, which is just unbelievable. I thought Wilkie, again, he stood out very good against Norton. I think Norton, there's some problems there that hole's probably being hidden a little bit. Doesn't seem to want to lead towards the ball. Kind of just stands and points when he had opportunities to lead to get in front of Wilkie. Didn't want to do that. But yeah, the Saints, yeah, that was just shocking. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why we're not playing the younger players. When we played the younger players, we were better. Now, Wilson, he had a break, and I don't know why he hasn't come back in. He had 32 on the weekend. Garcia had 29.
Fucking hell.
Schoenmaker had 25. Like, I think we're going to see 6 changes to the Saints this week. Players to probably come out. Zach Jones wasn't too amazing. I think Jimmy Webster could be in his last season. Brad Hill, as much as I love him, same with Jimmy Webster, I love him as well, but they're just players, I think.
Oh, Ryan Burns was pretty average.
Yeah, but I agree. He's one of those players where he's probably played, 60 games now and hasn't shown too much. He kind of just gets his 15, but he's not damaging.
Yeah.
On that wing. Like, there's nothing you go, this is what he's good at.
Yeah.
I know he's a good runner, but he can't get back in the back line to really help. He doesn't hit the scoreboard. There's not much that he does.
Butler.
Yeah, Dan Butler was poor, but Dan Butler, he had a good game against Melbourne the week before. So you go,
You look at a game where they
struggled,
lost
so-
by 72,
Exactly.
And
If you look at Butler, Higgins didn't have a very good game either.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think there'll be quite a few changes, but poor coaching, I think that game came down to.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
Yeah, for me, this was just pure domination from the Dogs. And I actually don't think their pressure was that good. I think St Kilda bit their own foot like that many times. Just trying to bite off a kick on the inside or something that just fucked up. And what the Bulldogs did really well in this game is they took their opportunities. Like, if the Saints fucked up a kick, the Bulldogs were straight on it. I also think it's fucking impossible to stop Sam Darcy. I felt bad for Wilkie. There was just no stopping him, really. If the ball is delivered correctly, he'll get it every time. Yeah. And they were almost having Caminiti was on him for a bit and he copped an injury. And then Caminiti went forward at one point as well. So I think Wilkie spent a fair bit of time on Sam Darcy. But yeah, this game just felt like you guys were kind of killing yourselves in the first quarter. And then after that, you just kind of rolled over. I also hated the Winhager tag. I liked it at the start. He was doing a great job, but then it was just useless. Ed Richards was literally tearing the game apart, and you're just watching it happen because you're a midfielder down. And Bond can go be damaging somewhere else, but the fact that Winhager's following him in the back line, well, Doggy's forward line, it's just so useless there. So yeah, I didn't like that. I thought the Saints forwards were really bad at looking after the Bulldogs half-backers. Like, Bailey Dale took the piss. Bailey
Bailey
Williams took the
Williams.
piss. Like, every time it was them. And there was just no pressure running from the forwards for me. But I don't know. For some reason, the Saints just can't play good footy against the Dogs. So I don't really take too much out of it as a Saints fan. Good win from the Dogs. We know that when they win big, they win big. So we know that's the type of team they are.
And just one more thing on the Dogs. Interesting stat. In terms of score involvements, they have the 3 top most average score involvements at the moment. Richards averages 8.3, Bond averages 8.2, Darcy averages 8.2. That's the top 3. And when you have 24 score involvements coming from 3 players straight away, you know you're going to be a good team. Well, that's just a crazy. There is no club in the top 50 that has 3 players in it, apart from the Bulldogs, and they're the top 3.
To Friday, in a thrilling finish at Utah Stadium, the Hawks ledged out the Crows by 3 points with a large surge in the end. I'll be honest, the first half was like pulling teeth watching as a Hawks supporter. They could have destroyed us if they kicked through the big sticks. We got so lucky in terms of that. It was ridiculous. And then we came out after half time, bit of energy, bit more tackling pressure. I went to the old man. I reckon the tackling pressure will be up, and it was. And yeah, showed a bit of grit, but yeah, they really could have blown us out.
Yeah, this game sucked. Like,
good nail biter.
Adelaide should have won this game by 40 plus. Like, seriously, like, I talk about Saints biting their own foot. Like, Adelaide really did that, in my opinion. I thought that they were the better team all day. But at the end of the day, like Sharky said, a late surge from Hawthorn, that's all they need, you know. Adelaide just failed to convert in that last quarter, and it cost them the price of the game. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think Hawthorn really struggled in that first half, like Sharky said. And then there was smart coaching moves from Sam Mitchell. Halftime, he went, all right, Hustwaite, you're done. CJ, we're coming in. We need run. And we're putting Nick Watson in the midfield. Nick Watson, within 15 seconds, gets them a goal through a centre clearance, and they were off and away. And I think that just shows how good of a coach Sam Mitchell can be, that he moved the magnets around, and once again, he moved the magnets with a different player and got it done. I think CJ, in terms of how good a player was, he would be up there. If he played the full game, he would be up there for one of the best on ground, just because of how dominant he was when he came on. But Jarman Impey, from the get-go for Hawthorn, was elite, and especially towards the end. But yeah, I thought there was just some smart moments where you look at someone like Jack Gunston and that goal that Newcomb kicked.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
I mean, they don't kick that goal if Jack Gunston doesn't play that game. Like Newcomb kicked the goal, but that goal's all Jack Gunston. His ability to know that, I'm not going to get the ball from a 10-man pack to sit out the back, get the ball. He could have gone for goal himself, but handball to Newcomb. I thought, yeah, right there. You talk about keeping, players, veteran players. That right there is why you keep a veteran player. Because, yeah.
Yeah, I was really impressed by Chaplin.
Like Riley Thilthorpe kicking 3 points.
There was 2 that he missed.
Tex
were
kicking
casual.
3 points as well. Like,
I felt like our backline matched up pretty well against them, though.
yeah. Well, you guys obviously do play a very tall backline, and they play a very tall forward line. So you guys do match up really well, which is another reason why it's a little bit concerning how many shots on goal they had. Obviously, they missed them all, but
which is surprising because it wasn't windy there, which is what they kept referring to.
It wasn't windy there.
Yeah, because remember when they played GWS there?
It
was really
pissing
windy
down, though.
and it was raining.
Was it not?
No, I don't
in
think it was.
Tasmania.
No, I don't think it was raining that night.
Yeah, it was pretty wet.
I'm pretty sure it was raining.
I was dewy. It wasn't raining though.
I didn't see a player pick the ball up cleanly all
Yeah.
night.
I don't think it was raining. It was definitely dewy though.
It was raining at points.
Oh, maybe.
But yeah, I thought Hawthorn missed out on key opportunities. Well, I mean, they only had 2 less scoring opportunities than Adelaide did. They just, when the moments came, took the right moments. They were smart about how they played football. One highlight that did get put through the media, obviously, was the deliberate call that was called from Fogarty, which that was a clear deliberate. The ball bounced and you punch it out of bounds. You can't. Everyone knows you can't do that. But something key to note was it was about 8 Hawthorn players. They pulled their arm out, screaming at the umpire. That's got to be deliberate. Put the pressure on the umpire, and then you go and look at another scenario that happened 3 minutes earlier. Josh Battle did basically the identical same thing, and not a single Adelaide player questioned the umpire about it. And yeah, that's just a smarter football team.
I'll just quickly put it to you guys. Do you think it was free kick Hawthorn? Because I was talking to someone at work today, and they were saying that we had the umps on the end of a string.
Oh, 100%. Hawthorn's had the umpires on the end of the string all year. They're the only team that hasn't lost the free kick count all year. I think that says enough. I don't think we need to delve into that anymore.
Yeah.
Will, you have anything to say for that?
Oh, good.
Just a question for you, Will, here, because it's an interesting one. Then I'll get Will Sharky's take. What do you do with Sicily now after this bye, who supposedly he'll be back, but Weddle's probably played his 2 best games from the half-back line, basically playing that Sicily role. I think he had 5 intercept marks on the weekend, had the 20-odd touches, just been real damaging, literally doing what Sicily does. Can you play both of them? And what happens? Do you bring Sicily in? Does he go
I
into the
think
VFL?
so. Yeah. Sicily comes in.
Who's he knock out?
CJ probably. CJ was the sub, but you can do anything really. You can go Hardwick in the forward line. I think he's your captain, right? He has to go on the side. He's had time off. Let him play his role. No, don't move him around. Don't do any of this. Let him play his freedom role. Let him play as that spare. Let him take that intercept marking role. And we forget, but Josh Weddle was still playing really good football last year while Sicily was still in that role. So it is possible. Maybe you have to say to Josh Battle and Tom Arras to take more of a defensive step back. Who knows? But Sicily definitely fits in the side, I think, for me.
I would agree with he fits in the side. I just don't exactly know where or who we take out for him, because I feel like Josh, he's having an unreal season. Like, he's just looking great on the field. Him on text this weekend, just running off him. He's looking like he's, I don't know the right word, but he's ready to take the game on a lot more. Like last year we saw glimpses of it, but now he looks like he's just ready to do it. He's got an absolute tank. He just can keep running and running and running. And I feel like...
You don't want him over Sicily, though.
No, I don't want him over Sicily, but I want Josh out there. So I'm saying, does he maybe take on a Battle or something? Because I reckon Battle's had a pretty average run with us. I don't reckon he's really started as much as I expected him to. Tom Barras, his intercept marking is just unreal. It's really the only thing he's kind of got going for him at the moment. He's just able to pick off marks so well.
Yeah.
So I'd probably say Josh Battle is someone I wouldn't mind sitting out and seeing how that go. But at the same time, yeah, I don't know. He's definitely going to come in the side. I'm just interested to see how he play it out. Keon, what do you reckon kind of the move is?
I think he'll come back in. However, I don't think this will happen, but I wouldn't be opposed to him going into the forward line. I mean, Ramsden played, didn't do too much. Weddle's playing some pretty good footy there at the moment. Battle is, I'd love to see Battle get dropped or told, you're being shit because, fuck that bloke. But I think a positional change could help, as a consistent positional change could help Sicily. He's a good marker at times. He's a good kick of the footy. And I think it can help Hawthorn in terms of their problems up forward. Kalshadir didn't work when he came in. And, Ramsden wasn't too good on the weekend, only had the 2 marks.
You got to think about it as well. Scrimshaw has to come in as well.
That's what I'm. Sicily doesn't fit. I don't think Sicily at the moment fits in that back line.
But you
He hasn't
can't
had a good
put him
game.
forward.
I think Battle needs to be out in some way because I feel like he plays somewhat of the same role as
Scrimshaw.
Yeah, Scrimshaw.
I'd say he plays like Scrimshaw.
I would say they're kind of the same players we're looking at. Tom Barras is someone I wouldn't want to take out. It would be either Scrimshaw or Tom Barras.
Tom Barras has to stay.
Yeah, Tom Barras stays. Battle's the weakest link, I reckon,
Yeah.
in the three backs. So I'd probably say get rid of him.
Battle
Well, I think
probably-
Battle's 10 times a better player than Scrimshaw is.
He probably is, but yeah, like either one you're picking is Scrimshaw or Battle for that role, right? Like Sicily's not really playing that role, so he probably doesn't go into that conversation.
I think the thing with the way I'd look at it as a Hawthorn coach is Battle's is a better defender than what Scrimshaw is, and at the moment they're looking for a defender, not an offensive threat.
But I also think that Scrimshaw plays the Hawthorn brand of football a lot better than Battle does.
Oh,
We
yeah, I would
see
agree with that.
a lot of the time, Battle isn't with what they're trying to do.
But will he ever learn that if he doesn't get the chance to play enough football with
He's
them?
played 14 rounds.
Yeah, but you see players who take time to.
I know, but like
adjust.
if you want to be in a team that wants to win, you know what I mean? Like if there's a game plan, you've had all of preseason, you've had 13 plus rounds. Like if he can't adjust to that, then and Scrimshaw, we saw last year how good he was. Like he was a key pillar for them in their finals run, was probably their best player in finals. If that's the difference to letting players like D'Ambrosio loose and, you know, bringing back that style that, you know, we've spoken about of, you know, that quick wingers just going for the ball, then, you know, that's a Sam Mitchell move. But
Do you do the same with Barras then? Well, I think Barras is playing good football.
what was that? You think
Do
Barras?
you do the same with Barras? Because I don't think Barras is playing good football.
I think
he's playing a
He's
good
playing-
role.
I agree with Keon actually. I don't think he is playing good football, but he's plucking them. Like he's doing his role more than what Battle
doing
is.
his role.
I would say that Scrimshaw is someone also I could see being able to lock up a small defender a little bit better in terms of kind of manning him a bit more. I just don't feel like I felt like Josh Battle's done anything
But
of
Josh-
substance.
Josh Battle is a player, you don't notice what he does.
Yeah.
It's like a James Blank kind of thing. You know, the bloke will have 2 disposals. But
When Josh Battle is playing good football, you will go, geez, how good's Tom Barras playing? That's I think that's when you're gonna go. When Tom Barras starts playing good football, that's when you start to go, I think Josh Battle's playing. Would you agree?
yeah, 100%.
I think that's what makes someone like when Battle was at St Kilda.
Yeah.
Wilkie played good football.
Oh, yeah.
when Battle went unnoticed.
Yeah.
I think that's
that's very much a Josh Battle style of football, but it's just he's taking kickouts, you know, like he's having that more offensive role, that more footy in hand kind of role. And I feel like he's reverting a lot back to the St Kilda way, which is okay. Like it's understandable, but there has to be a point where you know, what was it? Last week was the mid-season review. You can't keep playing a Ross Lyon style of football. And I see it so much from Hawthorn. Like you say, they're a boring side now. And they never were a boring side. And that's because you're watching Battle kick it around the back 50.
They're not taking the game on.
And
as
that's
much.
what Scrimshaw does. So Scrimshaw is nowhere near a defender that Battle is, but he'll take the game on a lot more than Battle will. Battle will kind of just bomb it forward if it's a kick out or pick off the short 45, which is fine, but it's just not the damaging kind of football they want to play. So what Sam Mitchell wants to do there is up to Sam Mitchell, but they do have. We brought it up in preseason as well. Their backline being this strong was going to be their biggest issue always, and we weren't expecting it to be Sicily.
So this is just something I was thinking about. This person's name came across my desk this morning. He kicked 3 goals in the VFL, Sam Frost.
Oh,
Now-
we're putting him up forward.
No. Well, yeah, you could do that. But no, I think if we said Hawthorn's a bit of a boring team at the moment, the way Hawthorn play good football is this run and carry football. So how do you, a team that's run and carry, how do you fix that when, let's say you run and carry, you've got 4 defenders up forward, and then you're stuck running downhill to when another team's got out the back. I think it's when you have 2 key defenders. I'm going to just say this, but I wouldn't be against bringing Sam Frost in and bringing in another proper key defender, because I think that is something that could help him. And someone myself, I think, went a bit unnoticed on what Sam Frost could have possibly done for Hawthorn last year because of the way they were so attacking, i.e. I think that's a way that Sicily can make the team. Now, if you bring Frost in, someone goes out, most likely that battle / Scrimshaw role.
Yeah.
Or can you have Weddle, Amon, Impey, and do you have to look at moving Impey or Amon to a wing or something?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be against bringing Frost in all honesty.
And that's the thing, because like you say, with that attacking run, Sam Frost plays his role at the Hawthorn Football Club to a T. He knows what to kick and what not to kick. And
Does he know what not to kick?
He knows what to kick.
He just
He
can't
just
do
can't
it.
kick it right.
Nothing wrong with that.
But when I say he knows what to kick and what not to kick, which is always, he handballs the footy. He knows that the footy is better off in someone else's hands rather than his. So he'll do the dirty work and he'll get the footy to someone else damaging. Whereas I feel like Tom Barrass and Josh Battle want the footy in their hands a little bit. I don't like Josh Battle taking kickouts for Hawthorn. I'd rather Impey, I'd rather Amon, you know.
You'd much rather aim on to take the kickouts.
Yeah, like,
Because they're going to take the game on. They're going to go run towards, try and get past the defender and bomb it as far as possible, and then go for the hands.
yeah, it's just useless. All it does is, like, I don't think I've seen Battle, like, pluck a kick off from a kick out this year. And same with Barrass. I reckon if you watch, like, 9 out of 10 of Barrass's intercept marks, you watch him turn left straight away or turn right straight away. And it's just that
He doesn't want it.
he doesn't want it. He doesn't take the game on. And that's what Hawthorn was so scary with. And I don't think Sam Mitchell is understanding that, because they're paying so much for these blokes. They've just come in, and fuck, it would be a shit look if you're dropping them already, you know? So they've definitely got some issues.
So on the weekend, Josh Battle took the most kickouts. He had 5. Amon had 4. Hardwick 2. Impey 1. CJ 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all interesting food for thought, but to Willy's Wonkers.
All righty, not a big batch today. Just some light. There's a pretty good one here. Want to get your boys' thoughts on this one? The next one, sorry. First up here was Dempsey missing in the goal square. This was hilarious. Took a mark, played on. Nothing ever good happens when you play on.
No.
Is what I've realized.
Yeah.
Everyone that plays on, nothing ever good happens. Same thing happened to Fritsch. Plays on, fucks it up. Yeah, that was against Collingwood. But anyways, we missed that episode. Next up is Bont humping the football.
That looked painful.
This did look really painful. Hilarious as well. He was getting tagged so hard that he was making love to the footy just to try and get some touch on it. That was great. And then Hartley Reid just doing the hard yards, taking a great mark inside 50 and then missing from 10 metres out is just West Coast to a T, I'd say. And then Nick Watson running, 30 metres up the wing probably.
Oh, more.
Probably more. Took 3 bounces. And let Josh Worrell run him down after a shit block from Ramsden.
Mm-hmm.
Kick the football, man. What are you doing? He's looking around like something's going to happen. Kick the ball. Like,
Something's
it's
gonna happen
so
'cause
obvious
you're the one
there's
with the
someone
ball in
behind
your
you.
I did say, we did discuss this at the household, and we did say this, we might reckon this might be the first time he was ever run down in a while in terms of his football experience. You got to think.
Yeah, probably.
No,
It's
he
probably-
got run down a couple of weeks ago, I remember. Well, one, Mitch Hinds kind of ran him down as well, except he clobbered him on the head. But there was a time, it was either early this year or late last year, where he got run down as well at the MCG. I can't remember who it was, but he has before.
Fair.
But yeah, seriously, this infuriated me. This was like the Tom Gross as a Richmond fan, I was great, but like, fuck, kick the football just any way possible, or move. You know how we see footy players, they go left and you create so much space there. He just didn't do that. He ran in a straight line and Worrell got into the slipstream.
I just don't think he knew. I don't think he knew he was there, and there wasn't like a teammate around him that could have told him.
Ramsden definitely was like, oh, fuck.
I think Ramsden kind of went, oh, yeah, but. Yeah.
Yeah. But those are the wonkers for the week.
With Lions versus Giants, we had Jesse Hogan's star for the Giants with kicking 6 goals. And with Lions' inaccuracy in front of the goals, it costs them the game. How do you guys feel on this one?
Yeah, I thought this was an interesting one. Lions giving away a few games at the Gabba at the moment, which it went from being sort of this fortress to falling off a little bit. Not as scary to play the Lions at the Gabba at the moment.
Yeah. So this is funny because I got to watch all of this game apart from like the second half of the third quarter and the fourth. So I missed it when it was good because fuck, it was boring beforehand. Obviously, there was the terrible injury of Jack Payne, ruptured his patella tendon. So wishing him a speedy recovery. But yeah, the Giants were knocking on the door that first half, like the entire time. They just could not convert. And the Lions were just taking their opportunity as well. I can't really speak for the second half because I wasn't too sure, but it definitely hurt the Lions not having Jack Payne.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Like Jesse Hogan 6, Aaron Cadman 5, Callum Brown 3. Just had no way to really stop them. So you'd probably hope that Oscar McInerney comes back in this next week, and then I'd say, who was it? Joyce Dara probably comes in.
Yeah.
Dara Joyce.
I don't know what they do. I think
Gardner.
Yeah, I think Gardner's who would come in, but I think they're gonna have to change their whole game plan because Gardner's not gonna do what Jack Payne does.
No,
he's just gonna Payne is a lot more offensive. I think Ben King had 0 against when Payne played on him. So he can stop players, and I think that's going to be something they've got to change their way they play football. I think.
Yeah.
I look at something like Fletcher and Zorko. One of them might have to fall. Wilmot. Someone is going to have to fall back, and they're going to have to move someone a bit stronger and bigger who might be able to fly in for an intercept mark to sort of give a chop out that third man up, because I don't think it's going to work for him. And it's a horrible thing for Payne to get injured, but this could possibly be the break they needed in terms of their game plan change, because things aren't working for him at the moment. Even without that Jack Payne injury the last couple of weeks, even during this game, things just aren't seeming to be, the premiership side that they were last year. So maybe a little bit of a tweak to their game plan could be the right thing for them.
That brings us to the Batman game where we had count.
Yeah, so just one thing on the Giants that I wanted to bring up is when their key forwards play good football. So talking about we talked about last week, 2 weeks ago, the 9 teams that we reckon are in contention for finals. Obviously the top 8 plus whoever's in 9th at the moment, who I think is the Bulldogs. So how the key forwards have matched up this whole season when GWS have played key forwards and when they've won and they've lost. So they paid the Pies, they won, and their key forwards combined for 5 goals. Played the Hawks, lost, combined for 5. Played Crows, key forwards kicked 0. Lost to the Dogs, key forwards kicked 6. Cats, they kicked 9. Freo, they lost 4. Then this week they had 14 with their key forwards. So they've won 3 games, kicked a total of 28 goals between their key forwards. That's 9.3 goals for their key forwards. So when they win, they need 9.3 is a rough number. However, when they lose, their key forwards only kick 3.75 goals. So their key forwards have to have a big game. That's the scenario for GWS to win. So basically, if Cadman can keep doing what he does, but if Cadman kicks 2, Hogan can kick 4 or 5, and maybe Brown knocks in for 1. you're going to look at GWS winning. But if you can stop them, then I don't think this is where GWS kryptonite might be, especially with Toby Green out at the moment as well. So he's not there to kick a bag. And you look at these top teams, you look at Hawthorn, we're just speaking about them. They've got Barras, they've got Battle, who can stop some key players. You look at the Dogs, Rory, Lobb, Jones when he plays. So if GWS get on top, then they win. If they don't, then they lose. So that's, I think, something teams are going to look at.
Yep.
As we discussed before, with Bailey Smith's standout game with 41 disposals on an absolute thrashing against Essendon. We've touched on it a lot. The fans are upset. Do you guys have anything more you want to add?
Will? Yeah, no, not too much to say. I think... Yeah, not much.
Is this still
else to
Lions
say.
Giants?
No.
Who's
No,
it?
this is
Geelong
Essendon versus-
Essendon.
Oh,
Giants.
sorry. No, I don't have anything.
Yeah, we basically spoke about it. In terms of the Cats, I think, yeah, they're elite. Sean Manor kicked 3, Dempsey kicked 2, should have had 3, like Will said. Cameron did elite, Neil was good. Graham Myers, again, his kicking is just unbelievable at times. Some of those kicks he bites off. Funny thing, did you hear about the Humphreys Guthries bet?
Guthries.
Yeah.
No.
Did you see Humphreys' goal?
No.
Did you watch the? Oh, okay.
I watched.
So Humphreys kicked his goal from outside 50.
Yeah.
And his celebration was a bit of what looked like,
Oh, I
spray
did see
can.
that. Yeah. I did see that.
Did you hear
Yeah.
about what the backstory was to it?
No, I didn't.
So him and Zach Guthrie have a bet on at the moment for the season about who's going to kick more goals between them.
Oh.
And I don't know what Humphreys' punishment is if he loses, but if Guthrie loses, Guthrie has to get a spray tan and wear it to their best and fairest night.
Oh, you're kidding.
So we're going to find out what Humphreys' chance of what happens if he loses. But yeah, I thought that was quite funny. So that was a bit of backstory to the celebration.
Yeah, right.
Now, we got an on and not ons from, I believe this is the same Chris that sent us in the first one. And pissing in public on a night out. Where is it on? Where is it not on?
Ooh. So this is on in an alleyway.
Alleyways
Very on.
are
Alleyways are a massive on.
parks on.
Depends on
Yeah,
where
how
at the
f-
park.
where-
You're not pissing on a playground.
No, on like a tree.
Yeah, trees are on.
Streets, no.
Yeah, no, that's weird.
No, you can't do it.
Yeah. Depends where you are. Like if you're out in Richmond, alleyways, fine.
Mm.
Dead streets, fine.
Have to be pretty dead.
No, there's some pretty dead streets in Richmond when it gets late. Not during the day, obviously.
Yeah, no. What else are we thinking?
All of this has to be at night as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Can't do any of this during the day. Has to be on some type of bush if it's not an alleyway.
Yeah, bush
Some
is a
type
fair
of
bump.
greenery. Like you can't do it
Yeah, I
on a
agree.
fence.
Greenery.
Yeah. On.
Yeah.
So just quickly, Lawson Humphreys does have 3 goals for the year.
Mm.
Zach Guthrie with the 1.
Yeah, that's a
So
big step.
That
That
is
goal.
a massive step. So that brings it to a tie to 2 goals now. So 2 goals for, their positioning is pretty big.
We had one more, and it was pretending to be injured to get out of training or a warm up.
Ooh. See,
I think-
I'm gonna flip the switch here. Doing your own type of stretches to get out of a warm up.
Not on.
Not on. I hate when people do that.
Wow,
You see a lot of it.
Like when the lunges on the fence while people are doing
Oh,
the run
the
throughs.
kicks. The kicks.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
Well, so back to that. What was that first one?
Faking an injury.
I think it depends on who the player is in terms of if it's like a ruckman or a key forward, I can understand it. But you got to be able to take it. If you're going to pretend to be injured, then people are going to rip in.
Yeah.
But if you're like, a medium-sized defender or, a forward, a small forward type of thing, I don't think you can be doing that.
Are you going to training though?
You're going to training.
And you're
Oh,
rocking up in
what?
trackies. And
No, like
not training.
like a Thursday night, like selection.
I don't know why you'd rock up to training and not train though.
if you can train.
Yeah.
I'd probably say it's not on.
I don't think that's a thing.
And then to Will's point, yeah, that's quite funny.
It
When
depends what
people-
stretches you're doing.
It depends on who they are as well.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
because some people bust out some advanced stretches, and you're like, you're going for something like more advanced.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to stretch things that I don't even know exist. But then some people are just trying to cop out with it.
I've also got a couple more here.
But
that I-
just to your there's
Yeah.
a guy in my team who he is like a physio person.
Oh yeah.
So when we train, he does his own warm ups
little
and stuff like
stretches and
that.
stuff.
Which I think that's understandable.
That's okay.
because he understands
But
it.
when you've got a footy in your hand and you're doing like these half lunge
when you
kicks,
just
and then you go snap
swinging
from
the
bench,
leg.
you know, like, and you hit someone in the head on the goal square, it's not on. I had another one here that I'd gotten from a fan a while ago. I forgot to say it. First one. Do you go sock, shoe, shoe, or sock, shoe, shoe?
I think we
we've
discussed
had
this.
this
We
one.
Did
discussed
we?
this. You weren't here, I think.
Yeah.
I wasn't here.
Oh yeah, you were dying.
Was I dying?
Yeah, you were dying. Yeah, we said, and I screwed it up. Remember? Because you said an order, and I was like, yeah, that's the only order.
He did, yeah.
And it was the complete wrong order. But I just like my head was only hearing the right one.
But so another one, I don't know if you did this one. So you go, say whatever you do, sock, you've got both your shoes on. Or actually, do you go shoe, lace,
Yeah,
And then
that's what we
shoe,
spoke
yeah.
about.
and then lace?
That's what we spoke
Or do you go
about.
shoe, lace, lace?
Shoe, lace, lace.
No, so I remember we spoke about this, and mine was both socks,
Yep.
and then just whatever you're feeling after that. Sorry,
Oh, wow.
both socks, and then
Yeah.
shoe,
Yeah.
lace, or I might be one day I might be feeling that, the other day I might be feeling obviously
Yeah,
both
okay.
socks and then shoe, lace. I don't know. It depends.
For me, it's more.
I don't have the routine in that
It's
way.
more efficient going sock, shoelace,
Yeah.
and shoelace. Like, why are you going shoe on and then another shoe on and then you have to go back and do that lace?
But sometimes in your head it just makes more sense step by step.
It's true. And also, technically, you're not wasting time because you still have to put that shoe on regardless.
Mm. I don't know that in that step. I don't think you can judge someone on that step.
But you can't do sock, shoe.
Oh, that's just weird.
sock, shoe is fucked. Because then your foot is at a different level.
Yeah, but not even
To-
that. Looking at that's weird.
Yeah. And if you're going sock, shoe, lace, and then sock, shoe, lace, that
'cause
is
for
fucked.
too long. One foot's got a shoe
Sock,
on it.
shoe, and then sock, shoe, and then lace, lace.
That's
Okay.
no. I think that's more weirder.
You reckon?
Yeah, if you're gonna do one, you gotta do the whole thing.
Yeah, true.
You can't half-ass.
That
if
is
you're gonna,
true.
You can't
if you're gonna be weird,
half-ass
you
it.
got to be a proper weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last one we got is pretending not to hear the coach when you got to pack up the cones or pick up the bibs.
Oh no, that's not on.
That's a red hot on.
This is on. for
This is
me.
an on.
Oh, that's so bad.
the guys, what guy? What?
If I'm the only one there, I'll always grab it.
If you're the
But if
last one
there's
there at the
four-
cones,
If there's 4 blokes there and they're closer to me than the cone,
Are they okay? Are they closer to the cone?
yeah.
Oh, okay, then that's fine. But
They're-
but I'll
alright, how
turn
about this?
around
I'm running past the cone.
and the coach goes, "Go get a cone. Go get the cone."
They're not saying it directly to me. They're just.
but they're
screaming
saying,
it.
"Bring the cones in."
If I bring the cones in and you run past the cone,
Yeah,
not on.
not you can't like you have to go get that
No,
cone.
no, like yeah, I'm saying you
Yes.
run past the cone. There's people behind you and you just don't pick it up.
That's not on.
This is where we need a Sharky cam. I think Sharky thinks it's a red hot on.
yeah, I mean, listen, there's people fighting for selection. You know, if you,
I think it's an on for me.
yeah, I would probably say it's an on.
It's a good question actually.
Yeah.
Wait, what you just did, I feel like contradicts yourself.
Well,
Does
say
it not?
Yeah.
Okay.
what you mean?
I
If you're
thought that was-
pushing for selection, wouldn't you pick up the
You
cone?
would want to pick.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're pushing for selection,
So
want
it's
to
a
pick
Oh,
up
big
the
so
cone.
he, no,
So
I
you're
think
going
he's
the-
saying that he's not pushing for selection.
I'm not pushing for selection currently, but when it gets to the point of the end of the season, I'll be
Did you hear?
picking up all the cones.
So at training
it-
today,
oh.
did you hear that there's going to be a push? Oh, I don't know if you were there.
No.
So we've got a full team now. So apparently people are going to start sliding out of the team.
Oh well. It was fun while it lasted, lads.
Yeah. Well, that's all right.
Well, listen to next week's episode to find out if Sharky played on Saturday or not.
Yep.
Now, Dockers versus.
Well, or just
Oh,
on,
one more.
on local football. Sharky, how do you go on the weekend?
I feel like I know where this is going. I've played better.
You play better?
Yeah,
alright.
I could have played better.
Will, how'd you go?
I had a
Did anyone, you didn't get a hot head or anything?
No, I had a pretty good game. I had a pretty good game. I was set a role
Mm-hmm.
for a to stop a player, and that's what I did. I stopped him pretty well. He averages like 7 goals a game. He kicked 2 goals on me for the whole game. 1 goal was from a 50-meter penalty that I did not give, so that doesn't count. And another goal was kind of like an out the back one. I guess you can say it's my player.
That was the one I was running for, wasn't it?
Yes, that was the
It
one.
was like 2 of them. And
So
I
it was
don't know-
Sharky's fault is what we're saying.
well,
I went to body one guy and then I turned to left and there was Will's man and I was like, oh, I had no idea he was there.
well, because it was a marking contest, right? And I wasn't in it. I was coming from the front, and for some reason, everyone else jumped.
Oh, so you did the smart thing.
Yeah. So, but I was at the front of the contest.
Ah.
My man was in the contest, but every player on my team jumps up, and it's a bit of a critical issue we have is no one really stays on the ground. Everyone just kind of flies, but they also don't take the mark. So we're just kind of in this weird spot. If this doesn't go forward, I'm fucked.
And was it once again Sharky's the furthest away from the football?
Sharky was up in the contest, so whether or not that
This
was
Sharky's furthest away from the football stuff is propaganda.
Hold on, I just said you were in the contest.
No, I know. It's when I can't find my man. He's kind of disappeared and I'm in this no man space
Oh my God.
and I'm like, I don't know where to go.
Sharky had a player that was
We don't want to be mean.
we'll just say he didn't touch the ball the entire game.
Yeah, but that's because Sharky was on him.
No, but
No.
well, yeah,
Yes.
but this guy would he was like, it was in our forward pocket and he's in the other back pocket, and Sharky's like right there, and I'm like, Sharky,
Again, because
you can
Sharky
leave him
was on
alone,
him.
man. Like, this isn't Toby Green.
If you want to watch a Marcus Winhager tag in
oh
local
yeah,
football,
Sharky,
I
come
feel like I
watch
should
Sharky.
be. Yeah, I feel like I've been knocking at the tag for a while.
but only
because-
if they're small,
Yeah.
not if they're a big target.
I did well towards the end when I had to go on
It
your
was
man.
the one
Yeah, well, that was
where-
because there was a few
Sharky
things going.
just didn't follow him, and he took a wide open mark.
Because there was 2 fights going on. I was looking left, I was looking right. I was like, oh, there's my man. He's just got a mark.
But
And
moving
then
to
our coach goes, Sharky! And Sharky just goes,
I think you have to start picking up some cones, buddy.
That's what I said. I reckon Conan picking up is close.
Moving back to Will's game. Did you play the whole game?
I played 3.5 quarters. 3 quarters and 10 minutes.
What happened? You didn't feel like playing the whole rest of the game?
A bit of a niggle, actually. I think my happy win or something like that. No, well, we got into a bit of a scuffle. You know, bloke pushed me into the fence. So I've gotten in a bit of a scuffle with him.
Fair
You know, just a bit of argy-bargy. That's all it was. And, you know, I turn around to run back to my man. Like, I'm literally, I'm turning around, head down, running. And I look up and the red goes, you tried punching him, and then pulls out a red. What the fuck? I got straight red carded. Hadn't spoken to the ump all game. I hadn't even seen him. So that was interesting. Spoke to the bloke that I tried to punch afterwards, and he was telling me about how stiff
It
I
was the left hand. I was.
So no,
it was the left
right
hand.
hand.
I swear it was the left.
So
Dyslexic.
we were jumper punching. Oh, and I also fucked up as I was coming off. I was trying to say we were jumper punching, but then I forgot the jumper part. So then I was like, we were punching again. I was like, fuck, I did not help myself there. So we were having out like this, and he's caught me in the chin. And then I've gone a little bit high there, gone to go down, but his head's kind of lowered, and my fist has kind of hit the bottom of his jaw. But I never let go of his jersey.
Yeah, see, that's where I thought the the left one had like kind of come up, whichever hand it was, had kind of just disconnected from the jersey for a second, and just hit him dead in the jaw.
Nah, I don't think so. Nah, I don't think so.
What are your thoughts on Will getting a red card?
I think it was pretty funny because I was right there with another bloke.
Yeah, someone was Fraser was telling me that it was so like weird seeing you just right behind. I didn't know you were in
Yeah,
it with
because you were
another
on
bloke.
him, and I was getting on your guy with you, and then some other guy put me, and I was on him, and then I was like, mate, I honestly don't know what I'm even going on about. Like, I don't even know what happened.
So
Yeah,
you've
'cause-
got to be careful because you're on a yellow card. Can't be looking to get any more.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so we were within 2 goals at that point, and I got sent off, and we lost by like 5 or 6 goals.
Oh, no.
And our coach, you know, he had to chat to me, and he goes, and everyone was saying it was pretty bullshit, right? Like a straight red like that is just ridiculous. And then the guy didn't flop or anything like that. Like we were literally about to just run back to positions. So he's called a free kick, 50-meter penalty, and a red card. It's like, fuck. What the fuck, man? Like, call 1 or 2 of those things, not all 3, like the whole kit and caboodle. And then coach has come up to me and he goes, look, you just can't get into that. And I was like, man, like, oh. And then after that, like, they kick like 2 or 3 goals. And he goes, I hate to say things changed after a certain red card, but and I was like, fuck. But, you know, shit happens. Didn't get a week, so.
You'll take the win, and so will the Dockers with the win against North. With Josh Tracy's match-saving mark and defense in the final moments.
We really calling that a match-saving mark?
I think it was until he kicked down the full.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you
But-
just, like, fucked it all up.
In terms of the mark,
The mark was good.
it was a good mark.
But then they also still had another opportunity after
But he
kicked it out of the
marked
full.
a good intercept mark.
Okay.
And for some reason, he decided, I'll go long down the line. Could have gone wide,
Yeah.
but
Long down the line, very wide.
Yeah.
Like, the camera angle was perfect because, like, it didn't come poorly off the boot.
no.
He was aiming there. And it was just, like, purely out on the full. So, you know, Freo, hold on.
First of all, how do we feel about Freo playing an away game at Optus Stadium, not against West Coast?
I felt like I heard a bit of roaring from
There
North
was,
fans. I'll say that. I don't know what the attendance was.
No, it was high.
Really?
It was high.
Really?
Un-
Like 40s?
Surprisingly was high. I don't know 40s. 35, I think I want to say.
Wow.
Can we
Fair enough.
get off our phone and
Mr. Yellow. Backing up
you
Sharky.
should be quiet here, Mr. Red.
Yeah, I'm surprised no one's got on to you. I have 3 nicknames floating around now, and I hate them all.
What is it? What are the three? Skipper.
Skipper, Yellow, and Oakley.
Oakley.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know that he wore Oakley shorts on the weekend?
In the game.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Oakley
Taped
white
up, taped
shorts.
up.
He taped the Oakley. But anyone that knows Oakley white shorts, even with the Oakley Chargers logo
It's
on the
got
front, you could,
doesn't
yeah, the
have
red.
yeah.
You could tell that they're Oakley Chargers shorts. So you couldn't find any White Horse Colts shorts or anything like that.
Nah.
Jeez, your man must have thought. Oh,
I was saying he shouldn't have taped it at all.
Yeah.
Just
What
pulled
am, I
out
what am I looking for here?
Oh, God.
pulled out the big nuts and just gone, yeah,
Attendance for your
like
game.
that.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, thoughts on the game?
Yeah, this game was weird. Like, again, for me, it was North just kept shooting themselves in the foot. Paul Curtis kicking 2 points pretty late in the game.
31,000, by the way.
Pretty good. You wonder how many of that was home fans? Probably 20K, 30K.
Oh, yeah, the 25. I'd
25,
put 25
yeah.
there.
I thought LDU was fucking ridiculous in that first
Oh,
quarter.
yeah.
Or like, what was it?
He
Maybe in the
managed
first
Hazel. Both
half.
kicked a goal and had 10 plus in that first quarter.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like within the first 10 minutes, LDU had a
10
goal
touches.
and 11 touches.
Yeah.
So he was on for something ridiculous. He slowed down a lot. And that would just felt like the whole majority of the North team. The late surge came back, but Yeah, I don't really have. I watched this entire game. I just don't really have too much on it, to be honest. Pat Voss was pretty good, I thought.
You know, there wasn't too much exciting parts of the game. It was one of those games where it shouldn't have been on a Saturday night.
Oh, yeah.
That's either a Sunday snoozer or a
Yeah.
Saturday 4:35 type of game.
Yeah.
Uh,
This gives me Sunday twilight vibes.
yeah. But yeah, there's not too much I think really to speak about it. Freo,
Riley Hardiman
yeah,
could have been the game-saving
could have
touch.
almost.
I thought Toby Pink was actually pretty good this game. Took a couple intercept marks late in the game. It was good seeing that 5 play.
Mm-hmm.
I thought.
How about the Raw?
Yeah, I thought
The
he was pretty
crowd.
good as well. Actually, he did get done holding the ball once where he was a little bit slow, but 9 touches in 28 minutes is pretty fucking good. All handballs, but we'll take it.
D's versus the Power. And the Power's on. They're on in a big way. How do we feel about them? How do
I
we
hate
feel
to-
about the D's?
I hate to reuse this phrase a lot, but the D's shot themselves in the foot here. Like, Cozzy Pickett had 1 touch in the second half.
2
Was it 2?
touches. You got 2 touches. Give me his credit.
Sorry, 2 touches.
And he's just signed on, so there's no real pressure.
No, but don't get it twisted.
What was his first half like?
Oh, I didn't watch any footy this weekend, besides from Hawks.
His first half was one of the best first
I was
halves
just
I've
about- yeah.
fucking ever watched. Like, he kicked 3 absolute rippers. Like,
Oh, he was tired then. Let him be.
it was ridiculous.
I'm
Like,
sorry, you kick a running banana from 50. First of all, what was Ryan Burton doing just standing there watching the ball bounce through?
I saw that. He
He
just,
just
kinda
kind of went, oh. It's like, you could get to that.
yeah.
First, he could have marked it before it even bounced. Second of all, he could have just run to the goal line and touched it. I don't know.
Yeah, I was watching this game and it was like, holy shit, this is the best money ever spent in the time. Like, unreal. What was it? 2 goals in the span of a minute, I think it was.
30 seconds.
His first goal was pretty good as well. I think it was,
Smother,
Smother,
then kick in the goal square.
It had like 13 touches. Oh no, 14
3 and
touches.
14 in the
3
first
and
half.
14 in the first half. On for 30 and 6 if you double everything. But couldn't find it in the second half. And that just felt like Melbourne's whole team, really. Their backline just fell apart, letting Georgiades kick 7 goals on them.
Yeah, I thought it was quite poor the way that why Stephen May wasn't in as full. Like, Stephen May's whole career has been the deepest defender, yet he was pushing up high up the ground. And I know he was on Jason and Francis, which I can understand maybe that was their game plan. But once Georgiades had kicked 2 and Turner was struggling, why they didn't decide to make that change. Turner struggled knowing he was the deepest one-on-one. I think May had to, as a senior player, had to make the decision to be like, no, I'm going to go on him.
Yeah, and then Daniel Turner goes forward. And then
And did well.
Yeah, did pretty well. And then May finally ends up on Georgiades, but by then
Still
it was
struggled,
just-
yeah.
Still struggled. Like Georgia, one of those games, to be honest, where the entry was good. And,
As much as good Georgiades was, he was literally getting them
yeah, like
on his chest,
there was
hands
one
out,
where he
like
out bodies Stephen May and takes a mark like within like the goal square, and I was like, "Fuck, he's on."
could have easily had 10. He missed some
4
easy ones
points
in the
yeah,
third quarter.
easily. But look, Melbourne played a really good first half. Like, I thought they were pretty good. It was good to see Jacob Van Rooyen
Yeah, he was
kick,
alright in the
kick
first
2
quarter.
goals in that first quarter. Couldn't back it up like for the rest of the game, but it was good to see him have a good go at it. I think Harvey Langford's an absolute star. Like, his pressure is just elite. Like, he plays for the badge, one of those kind of guys. I didn't like seeing Xavier Lindsay as the sub, to be honest. I don't know why the fuck you want to do that, considering you've got no other young talent basically in that side. Your only 2 young players are Xavier Lindsay and Harvey Langford. So why is he the sub of your team? He came on and in 24 minutes had 8 touches, a clearance. Like, what are we doing? apart from that, I can't really think of anything else. I think they just got destroyed in the midfield, to be honest. Like, Radaglia fucking legacy game.
Truly, he's played two elite. His last two games have been big.
Took 13 marks. He was like every time the ball went in there, it was like Radaglia took it. Like Alia was pretty average.
Well, that's the thing. Radiglier's had two elite games, and now that he could be by himself for a while with that Alia injury.
Oh, yeah. But like, I was watching this. It was like one of those games where, it just lands in their lap every time.
He's had 15 intercept marks in his last two games.
Yeah.
And I think he had 6 at halftime of this game as
Yeah.
well. Like he was.
They were talking about him breaking the record,
he was
like,
on fire.
yeah.
In terms of Jason Francis, sample size came back in that first quarter. Could have kicked 3.
Yeah.
He finished the game with 1 goal, 3, 29 touches, 7 clearances off 67% time on ground. And I think that is probably the number we'll see. I think somewhere between 70 to 75 is the number we'll see from Jason Francis. But it just shows how explosive he can be. Like when he goes forward, there was some easy opportunities there. He could have had 3 goals in that first quarter to get the job done. He's more and more looking like he's going to become a better and better player.
Now, another game up in WA with the Blues overcoming the Eagles at Optus Stadium. What do you guys think about this one?
Snooze first.
Yeah, a lot of injuries coming out of this game. Yeah, Curnow, Allen.
Oh, yeah. Do we know how
West
bad
Coast's whole
Allen's is
bench
yet?
was injured. What's that?
Do we know how bad Allen's is yet?
Well, I don't know exactly what the injury is, but
Looked
this
like
brings the
sniper
point.
to the Achilles.
Do we think we're going to see Allen play again this year?
If it's the sniper to the Achilles, I don't think so.
Well, forget about the
I don't think
injury.
we're going to see him play again for West
That's
Coast.
what that's, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think you put him on ice now, no matter, even if they reckon it's a 4-week injury. But I don't think we'll see him play play again this year. And yeah, like you said, again for West Coast, because there's no point in giving him the chance to get injured if most likely he's not going to be at the club next year.
Yeah.
Most likely place to go would be Brisbane, it looks like at the moment.
Yep.
And then to the Curnow one, I reckon he'll be able to play next week. Just had the slight niggle, and they said, that's enough for him. But if he doesn't play next week, they've got some problems. Hudson O'Keefe came out off the ground a bit sore as well. So if they're out without O'Keefe, Charlie Curnow and Mackay, Pidnett will have to come in, and DeConey might be key forward for the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game was pretty horrible. Over in that first quarter, 7 goals to 1. Carlton kicked.
Carlton beat Carlton in the first quarter.
Beat
Carlton for the rest of the game. 45 points in the first quarter, 40 for the rest of the game, I'm pretty sure it was.
Well, Carlton beat West Coast, equaled West Coast's amount of goals in the first quarter.
For the game.
For the whole game.
Yeah. Like, ridiculous. Probably more scary if you're if you're Carlton, to be honest. Like, the fact that you couldn't back it up. They were unreal in that first quarter.
Yeah. I think West Coast were a lot better, though. Pathetic is...
I thought that was harsh.
I thought it was fair.
When I was watching that first quarter, it felt like they actually weren't playing that bad. Like,
you reckon?
Like, Fogarty, what did he kick? 3 goals in that first quarter. It just felt like it landed in his lap every time so luckily. Like, their pressure was good. Their disposal use wasn't great. But, like, I didn't feel like it was just a 7-goal lead,
No, I thought they were going to dominate out of me. I think it was 13 to 2
don't get me wrong.
clearances.
I mean West Coast backline. So it was because Carlton had that many entries. Like, I felt bad for Jimmy and the players back there because it was constant. But
I think it's pathetic effort from their midfielders.
For sure.
I thought that was fair. I thought it was fair, and not the players that they would have. I'm interested to see how they go next week because they wouldn't have known that. I mean, he would have ripped into them whether he said they were pathetic. quarter time or not. But him saying that properly in the media, I'd love to see how they go next week.
Yeah.
But I think Dua, he's showing out to be quite a good player. The last 3 weeks, he's been really good. Harley Reid had the 28 touches. Should have had a goal.
Should have had 2.
What was his other one?
The miss in the goal square.
No, I know there was that one. What was the other
he
one?
got touched. He kicked a goal and it was snick off the finger.
That's right. Yes. That was towards the end, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and Carlton, yeah, they were good. Binns was pretty good. Sard, 25 touches. Yeah.
Yeah, Dewar is a weird one. It feels like every 3 weeks he gets played in a different role.
I think
Like-
the last couple of weeks
He's
He's-
been in that good role.
because they've brought Marriage out and Dewar's taken that Marriage
Yeah.
role. And in all honesty, I think Dewar he's a better player than
I
what
agree.
Marriage is.
He's more damaging in my
Yeah.
opinion.
He had quietly had 850 meters gained.
Yeah.
Um,
I thought he was really good. His run off the halfback was just ridiculous.
and he's a very good kick as well at the time. Like he was able to find a couple. I think he in 2 or 3 minutes, I think he might have set a couple goals up. Like I thought he was really good.
Yeah. His efforts were unreal. Like he was absolutely spent and he was still having to go back that much because West Coast just kept turning the ball over. But yeah, not really too much standout from the Eagles, in my opinion. Again, their midfielders just aren't damaging at all. Like, I don't think there were any midfielders that got over 20 touches, was there? Oh, apart from Harley Reid.
Yeah.
Jack
had
Graham, 24.
Bake had 21.
Did he really play midfield time, though? I don't think he
Graham.
plays CBAs.
Graham, I think, had 20% CBA.
Yeah. Well, there you
Um,
go. Like, you look at their majority CBAs, Harley Reid, Elijah Hewitt, and Liam Ryan. They were their majority
But
CBAs.
Again, you look at that, and Harley Reid, I think at the most, he only had 60%, did he?
Yep.
And I think that's a worry for
48%.
48, and that was the most for
Yeah.
him, wasn't it?
The-
Hewitt had 40 as well.
52%.
52.
The highest percent of CBAs was Liam Ryan with 61%
Mm.
CBAs. Liam Duggan came in for 30% CBAs. Jack Graham only 35% CBAs. So who knows what their midfield is really? Like,
Yeah. I think Tim Kelly's going to take another stint in the waffle. I don't think he'll play this week. He was pretty bad.
he was pretty bad, I agree, but he's been good the past couple of weeks.
I just don't think he's there.
in
he's
that
there
half forward
anymore.
role.
I don't think he's there anymore.
Yeah, maybe not.
Now that brings us to Kiz's crack.
Let me have a crack at him first.
Let me have a crack at it.
Get all worked up enough to crack it.
Yes. So, Kids Crack this week, we got one. It's aimed at Melbourne, and I'll aim this question towards you, Sharky. Do you know what the definition of insanity is?
Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome.
Exactly. And I think Simon Goodwin
Why do you know that?
might be insane because once again, he goes with the same thing that has not worked all season, probably didn't work at all last year as well. Will said, what's his name, started as sub?
For Melbourne?
Yeah.
Lindsay.
Xavier Lindsay started as sub. Langford barely went into the midfield. Track, 87% CBAs. Viney, 74. Oliver, 40. Pickett, 87. So apart from the Pickett, 87, which I love him in the midfield, it's brought something different to them. Oliver had the 40%, but that was major for him. Apart from that, I think Salem went in for 1. What's his name? Rivers went in for 3. But apart from that, that was basically it. And it's just not working for him. When Langford goes in there, the last couple of weeks, he was playing elite football, and then he doesn't go in. Melbourne struggle. I just think that Simon Goodwin needs to look at the blueprint and go, it's not working. One, also, they are the second highest centre clearance team, yet they are the worst team to convert from centre clearance. So when you're having the second highest opportunity in the AFL to get centre clearance, yet you're the worst team at converting your centre clearance, you can imagine how bad they're doing. Like that's pretty bad. They've got to look at doing something else. And I raise the question, we've raised it last time. Is Simon Goodwin the right choice still currently at the moment? Or does a board need to go, hey, mate, we need something else to happen? Oliver only 40% CBA. Do we think this could be his last season for Melbourne?
Probably.
Who takes him though?
Geelong. For me.
Do they need him?
They'll take him. Geelong have got, like, let's not forget about what Clayton Oliver is.
No, I know, but does he fit in the realm of, does he actually fit into their team at the moment? We said how good
so, for
Bailey
sure.
Smith and Holmes is.
Yeah, but who's their third midfielder? Atkins.
I think Atkins is so underrated in
Atkins
what makes them.
is a great defensive midfielder, but I'd rather Clayton Oliver in that midfield for sure.
Oh, I disagree. I think if Atkins wasn't there, Bailey Smith and Holmes wouldn't be able to do what they do.
But who else is the person going into their CBAs for Geelong? Because it's not just
Osland Mullen goes in and O'Connor goes in. Like they're three defensive. You can't have Oliver in there as well.
For me, you can. I think out of all teams, he probably fits in Geelong the most. Because, Oliver can play a defensive role as well. He doesn't have to be all attacking. He probably knows that Bailey Smith and Holmes are the guys there. But it's just it's not going right for him at the moment. Why they're not playing Trent Rivers in the midfield?
He got subbed out on the weekend.
Well, it makes sense why. Yeah, okay. You sub him out because he's having a bad game. Why is he having a bad game? 9% CBAs. That answers your question. You know what I mean? Let him play his role and he'll have a good game. They had three people basically in the midfield the entire game. Petrarca had a stinker. Viney, who was tagging the entire day, and then Clayton Oliver 40% and Pickett 87%. Pickett was the only one damaging there. You have Viney playing 74% CBAs, tagging Butters, and I'm pretty sure Butters tore it up.
Mm-hmm.
What did Butters have? Like he had at least 25 disposals. Sorry, let me just pull this up really quick.
Yeah, 27.
Butters has 27.
He had one clearance. That's the noticeable.
Yeah, well, Melbourne were killing them in clearance all day, but it just didn't matter because Port were playing better all around the ground. They didn't really need to win clearance because Melbourne were doing nothing with it. So you look at that, you go, okay, Viney, you're playing 80% CBAs and you're not killing your man. You might be killing him in CBAs, but around the ground, you're doing nothing else. You finish the game with 20 touches, not too bad for yourself, but no impact. There's apart from Pickett, when Petrarca has a bad game, who's their impact player? So I completely agree with you. It's a big issue.
Yeah, I think
it's Goody's time for sure for me. And I think that if you see Goody go, you probably see Clayton Oliver stay, in my opinion.
Watch that space, I guess. We'll see how it all pans out. Can't I see you have some things here on the run sheet?
Yeah, just a little bit of AFL talk, some interesting things to discuss. First of all, do you know the game on the weekend was the first time that there was no OG first game GWS player that played in this game?
Yep.
Obviously, Callum Ward going down. That's interesting. That's
It was Toby Green going out.
Oh, Toby Green going
Yeah.
out. Sorry, yes, he didn't play. He played last week.
Yeah.
New era, I guess you could say then.
Yeah.
Completely
crazy.
for him. That's quite crazy. It's a fair effort.
Yeah.
To be fair, what's it? 13 years, 12 years.
12.
Where they've been able to play someone every game. I think it was, what's that? 30.
Well, I didn't even
500.
realise, but Adam Kennedy was still on their list until last year.
Mhm. I think we said that.
Who
last
knew
year.
that?
I think we said
Not
that to
me.
each other.
That's like a Udonis Haslam in the NBA.
Yeah.
It's just a vet role right there.
And the other one, grand final at 2:30. A lot of people are unhappy about it, but I'm happy to see it at the normal time slot. How do you feel?
everyone has a good time anyways. Like, why are we complaining?
Mm.
It's good. Gives you time to go out afterwards.
Then some VFL standouts. I spoke about a few of them, but we'll run through them quickly. Riley Garcia for the Bulldogs, 39 touches, 11 clearances. It's going to be hard to find a spot in that midfield, so he's just going to have to keep doing it and wait for an injury. Darcy Wilson for the Saints was standout, 32, 9 clearances. Hugo Garcia, 24 touches, a goal, 8 clearances. Sam Frost, as we said, he had the 3 goals. And then some other Hawthorn plays. McGuinness kicked a goal, had 30 and 9 clearances. Mackenzie had 29 and 9 clearances. For Essendon, some other names. Sardis had 9. Like I said, Shield had 2, 27 and 7 clearances. And we just spoke about Melbourne's midfield struggles. Bailey Laurie, not a well-known player, but could you just see him possibly get a game?
26 goals.
26 touches, a goal, and 7 clearances.
Serious. 7 cleanses.
So wouldn't be opposed to seeing him in there, seeing Rivers in there, seeing Langford in there. That would be good for Melbourne.
Yeah, and then we'll go straight in to Kiz's undercover night.
My name shining over.
Yeah, Tom McCarthy, he was the number 1 pick in the rookie draft. There was a lot of hype about
Mid-season.
him. What's that?
The mid-season draft.
The mid-season draft, yeah. A lot of hype about him, and we learnt why on the weekend. 31 touches, 600 metres gained, a goal assist. He was awesome. Some fun stats here. First player, most disposals by a debuter for West Coast. Only player this year to get 30-plus touches for West Coast in his debut game. So thought that was quite interesting. Sharky, what do you think about that?
I think it was a good game.
What do you think about that stat?
Oh, I don't know. My headphones are pretty glitchy at the moment.
Oh, is that right? Are the Instagram reels pretty good? Yeah, phone goes down. Phone goes
It's been
down.
going on for a while, Lance.
So yeah, he was awesome. End of the game, he came off and was cramping up a little bit. So I hope he was all right. But you know, he was awesome.
He was
And
working at Woolies 3 weeks ago.
It was. He was a
He was a duty manager.
yeah.
Less than a
Quite
month
funny.
ago,
Mm.
you were asking him where the butter is. And now he's picking up 30 in the AFL. It's ridiculous. Also, Richmond boy, just fucking, that's awesome. Richmond didn't want to put anyone on their long-term injury list, so we couldn't pick him up in the mid-season draft. So that is just super cool. That adds to the list of Massimo D'Ambrosio, Sam Durham, Sam Davidson, and now Tom McCarthy. So sweet. It's always good. Love to see it. Good thing is, though, our VFL recruiter is now an AFL recruiter.
Oh, yeah.
How, like, that bloke must be like, I don't want to say I'm a fucking, like, goat or anything, but imagine picking up all 5 of those. I reckon that's the most VFL pickups, like, in terms of success for AFL in a while.
Yeah, probably. Pity you couldn't have him at your club. Could
Yeah, I
deal
know.
with him right now.
Ridiculous.
So yeah, no, good on him.
I've also never seen a player come in for their first ever game and then take 10 kickouts.
Oh yeah, the trust. But fair enough. For a team that's struggling.
Like, I guess he got pretty lucky that the ball was going there so much, but it felt like every single kick out.
Yeah, he was taking every single kick out. I think at one stage he had 14 touches from 8 kickouts, I think.
Yeah. Ended up with 10 kickouts and 10 played on. So he knows what he's doing.
He does, yeah, he knew. They all know. Actually, fun fact, Liam Duggan had 2 kickouts, didn't play on from either of them.
Yep.
Just finished on 19 touches.
Oh, you're kidding.
So for anyone who might have had him for 20.
in their super coach, of course. What's
Well-
up, Sharky?
It's time for your wallet, mate. It's time.
Here comes the money. Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money.
Dollar. All right, here we go. Thursday night game. Was obviously the Saints versus the Dogs. Edward Richards tripping. First offense, $3,000. Jack Steele. Hunter Clark, careless contact with an umpire. Fourth offense,
Oh, this could be big. This has got
Oh
be
yeah, wow.
5-digit number.
$5,000.
It's-
You think fourth offense considering tripping for
I
the?
thought we were looking at like 12 grand.
And that's what I was thinking, but apparently not. Zach Jones, rough conduct on James O'Donnell in the fourth quarter, $3,000. Jesus. And Jack McRae, careless contact with an umpire, third offense, $5,000.
You hit it. There's a barrier.
There's a barrier.
Unless it depends on like how bad your hit is.
So Hunter Clark, careless contact with an umpire, fourth offense is $5,000. And so is McRae's third offense, $5,000. I'll let the users explain that because I don't get it. Next up here, we've got the Saturday games. Lions versus Giants. If you're asking why there's no Friday games, because it's not here, blame the AFL. Like, I don't understand. Sometimes they just skip them. Like, it's ridiculous.
Probably was there no fines.
Must not have been. They don't even do a thing, but Saturday, there's not much either. Saturday, Harvey Thomas tripping. First offense on Zach Bailey in the third quarter. That's $3,000. And then in the Essendon versus Geelong game, Jaden Laverde, careless contact with an umpire. First offense, $1,500 fine. And then if we go back here, we go to the Sunday games. I think Harley Reid might be here. Oh, yeah. So the Port versus Melbourne game.
Has to be there.
Yeah. Asava Radagalia tripping on Harry Petty in the first quarter. First offense, $1,500 fine. And Harley Reid striking on Lockie Fogarty, $3,000 fine as it's his first offense. That's the Wills Where's Your Wallet for the week.
That
Wait, what about tipping? Let's go through that really quickly.
Well, we didn't announce our tips because we had the buy off, so we'll just
do the total score.
How we do?
We'll go to the 3-2.
No, how did we do with our tipping?
I haven't put it in.
I'm literally looking at it. Right now.
Okay. So that's why you wanted to skip this. We've got a little thing on our run sheet here saying skip this.
Thought it was a time management
Yeah,
thing.
so did I. And I
Well,
was
it
like,
kind of is too.
Whoa.
So it just so happens that you wanted to. You also put skip this for Will's Where's Your Wallet. So he's trying to cut off my segments as well. So the tipping hasn't been done.
No, because we weren't here.
Did we not?
But we
send it
did
in
do
to
our
you?
tipping.
You did send them, but we weren't here.
Oh.
So we did our part.
We did do
I
our
made
part.
sure to message, and Will even said it's on the game.
It's on the game, which
I
is
made sure.
which is public to all users. HR will be hearing about this one.
Can you not bang
So,
the microphone so
we'll-
people
we'll-
get ear rape?
We'll skip this. Sharky, we'll skip this for you. But
Oh yeah.
1 vote, 2 votes, or 3 votes.
With 1 vote.
Not Mitchell Sharkey. Jarman Impey. He was awesome from the get-go for Hawthorn and right to the end as well.
I've got Ed Richards, obviously Bond copping the tag, so he's just been able to get it on a string. Leather poisoning.
With 2 votes.
Yep. Ed Richards, he was awesome, like Will said.
I've got Sam Darcy, just like literally unstoppable. He's gonna be like he's the Victor Wembanyama for the AFL. Dead set, like crazy things to come.
Mm-hmm.
With 3 votes.
Mitch Georgiades, I thought he was awesome. 7 goals, 7 goals 4, should have had 10. Presented really well and shut down that Melbourne backline.
I've got Jarman Impey, as Keon said, he was very, very good. He strung together a really good couple of weeks recently, obviously going forward one of those weeks as well. So literally every time I looked at the TV, it felt like Jarman Impey had the ball in his hand. So
With 4 votes.
Caleb Sarong, he was awesome, especially defensively. Had quite a few tackles holding the ball, smothers that became crucial.
I had Mitch Georgiades, could have kicked 11, dead set. there were some set shots there that just went to the left of the post. Very kickable goals. As Keon said, played a really good game against the D's, who are a very strong and tall backline.
And with 5 points.
Points.
Oh, votes.
Yeah, Max Holmes, he was awesome. Will and I spoke about earlier who's better, him or Bailey Smith. I think this probably shows that Holmes might be a bit of a touch better, being that he got the 5 and Smith didn't get any from myself.
I'm the exact same. Max Holmes. Like, this last 2 weeks from him. Ooh.
We didn't get to say our votes from last week, but I'm going to go and limb and say you put him for 5 last week as well.
Yes, I did.
So he's going to have climbed to the very top.
Oh,
Sharky,
yeah, he would too. He's with
tell us
Gordon
about
then.
it.
26 votes. Max Holmes.
Wow. So he's polled previously.
Max Gorn. 20
What?
votes.
Oh, okay.
Bailey Smith. 18 votes.
Wow.
Pickett. 16 votes, along with Zach Merritt. And then you got Caleb Sarong with 15. And then you got Matt Rao and Connor Rosey with 14. And then you got Lockie Neal, Jack Sinclair, and Nick Martin with 12.
Wowza.
Nice.
Just
So-
goes to show Zach Merritt, like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's polled in.
No, been a
weeks.
while.
It has been a while.
Only player who wouldn't have polled as recent as him would be Finn Callahan.
Yeah, I agree. I think so.
But yeah, Max Home got the 5 last week. 5
10.
last week from both of you guys. He got the 5 this week. Where else did he get some votes? Because he has been a bit of a 2-vote specialist, I believe.
Yeah. It's
He
good
got
question.
a 1 vote in round 11 from you, Will.
Bang.
He got a 5 votes from you in round 5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So he's gotten a 5 before.
yeah he's gotten a 5 before.
So you gave him a 5. I didn't give him anything.
No,
yeah.
he didn't.
I gave him all 6 of those votes.
Mm.
Let's see what his game was that round. Had 32 touches and a goal with 7 tackles and 5 clearances. 805 meters gained.
Clearly, I did not rate him that game.
Jesus.
What was my votes looking like that week?
And they got the win.
That week, you put Matt Rao.
Interesting. Oh, well, that's just what I thought. And he could go along and get another 5 this week against Brisbane at GMHBA Stadium on Friday night.
Yep.
But I think that is it from us for this review. Remember to go get your jumpers. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. We've got the video going on Spotify now as well. Loving the support from everyone.
Rate us 5 stars on
Mhm.
Spotify.
Not sure if does it do anything. It does
Makes
a lot.
us feel better.
When people see it, they go, wow, this has got 40 5-star ratings.
Mm.
Are we going to go Apple Music maybe?
No.
No. No Apple Music, guys. Get Spotify.
Anyway, goodbye all, and till the next time.
Get your hoodies.
It looks like that's the end of the Nothing But Footy podcast. Thanks very much for tuning in. Go ahead and check us out on all of our socials, and we'll see you on the next one.